The binge eating artist, right?
Mhm.
That's so funny. All right. Artist. I might end up calling you B sometimes.
That's fine.
I'll call Tasby.
SD.
SD. Yeah.
TSD.
Self-doubter. And you guys just call me P.
Yeah.
It's a P right there. Okay. Hello, all. So I am the procrastinator, and we are going to be reading my script today, but I want to introduce you to my fellow WIPs. Yeah, go ahead and take it away, either one of you.
I am the self-doubter. I am, as the name suggests, I am a very self-doubting person when it comes to writing, but I'm getting over it little by little. And I have nothing to read today. So today is all about our procrastinator, who is ironically is the only person who managed to get pages for today.
And I am the binging artist. Unlike the starving artist, I like to procrastinate by snacking while I write. So it's probably good I don't have anything today, because that would have meant a lot of binging took place this week instead of writing. Okay.
Awesome. So we're going to be reading, we're not going to be reading the full pilot today. We're just going to be looking at the sections that I wrote. So basically, Self-Doubter, can you give us like a recap of what happened previously on this hockey pilot?
Yes. So we know that Nan, who's really the main character of this pilot or this show, she's an executive. She's a high-level executive who is essentially she's hated in town because she is taking away jobs from the people of her small town. I think it's in Wisconsin, where
Yeah, it's somewhere where ice is.
Mhm.
Non-description.
Somewhere where
But
ice is. It's a very cold place.
note, need to locate where this takes place.
TBD. But essentially she is yeah, so she's a very statistically and like mathematically genius person who really thinks about, in numbers, and that's what makes her good at her job, but also makes her very ruthless when it comes to other things. She's hated in town because she's taking away jobs from people because she thinks AI can do it for them. But really the main plot is she essentially she loses her brother to cancer, and she takes on the job of taking care of her niece, basically coaching her because she's in the hockey team. So it's really kind of like I'm not really good with synopsis, so can you take
Oh,
it?
self-doubter. Oh,
I'm
self-doubter. You're
self-doubter.
great.
I'm not really good at this.
You are so great at this. You're killing it.
Yeah, so I think where we left off, Nan, the main character Nan, is trying to take really the lead coaching her niece. What was the name of her niece again?
Molly.
Molly. She realizes that Molly has anger issues. She's really taking it all out, on her teammates. So that's why really she stepped up to take the lead on coaching her niece and her niece's team. And really, again, we go back to her brilliant mind and how she is very statistically, her mind thinks in numbers, and that's how she's gonna use this asset to coach this team, which is she doesn't think about sports. She doesn't know anything about sports. She knows math only. So she's gonna utilize her biggest asset to coach the team. And I think that's where we stopped.
Excellent. Excellent. So thank you so much, SD, for like giving us that summary just to get our buddies on board with this. We're going to pick up right after we find out that Molly mom is basically an alcoholic, and this is a comedy with some sad stuff in it, where Molly's really angry because her dad died of cancer, and she's not her mom has kind of basically disappeared. And so she's kind of raising herself in these moments. And so Nan needs to be back at the rink to start the first day of assistant coaching the team. No, actually, I totally lied. We're going to start. Let's see here. All right. Yeah. Okay. We're going to start right here where hold on. I'm so sorry, folks. This is
All right.
I don't know why. Oh, yes. No, it's just disappeared for me. We're starting right here.
Okay.
All right. Excellent. Can you read Nan SD and
Yep.
B, can you read let's see, Coach Todd and Molly? And I'll read anything else that pops up and the action. All right, and we'll start right here. Interior, Nan's house, night. Nan sits at her desk, laptop open. The clock reads 10 p.m. She studies a hockey video. She writes numbers on a sheet, 12 a.m. She clicks to another video, another. She writes more numbers, 2 a.m. Nan studies another hockey game. She records numbers. She settles on a number, 40%. She circles it and revels.
There you are. Nice, pretty number. You're gonna get us to state.
Nan looks at the clock, 3 a.m.
Shit.
Interior, hockey rink, dark. The clock reads 6:07. Nan pushes through the big doors. Coffee sloshes out of the little slit on her hand. She steps next to Coach Todd.
Traffic can be.
I figured your allergies got you.
Ha, yes. Ha.
3 teammates pass the puck to each other up and down the ice. Molly skates by herself with her own puck. The clock reads 6:08. She rolls her eyes.
I expect players to be here. 10 till go.
Yeah, okay, listen. Okay, I'm sorry, I was late. I went home and I watched some hockey. I didn't just watch the hockey, I looked at the players and who was playing. I noticed a pattern. See, numbers can
Molly skates past.
guide us. I found that the teams that play their best players only 40% of the time win 96% of the time, but making everyone play a little better, the team wins through shared work. So I was thinking,
This isn't Moneyball, lady. No. Molly, Adara, Harriet, and Leanne on the bench. Half the kid can't even stand on the ice. I'm the strategist. You drive the bus.
my name is Nan.
Okay.
You called me lady. My name is Nan, and I can drive a.
It's a figure of speech, Nan. You drive. I'm the one that has the map.
Right.
Nan looks out at the players.
Where's the rest of the team?
We work the ones who want it. The rest of the team gets in at 7 a.m.
That was my brother's idea, wasn't it?
We came up with the idea together.
His phone rings.
I got to take this. The wife is real emotional today. They let her go from her job yesterday.
He steps away. Nan licks her hand where the coffee splashed and wipes her remnants on her pants. Molly skates up to her.
Hey, you. Nice skating out there.
You aren't seriously going to jetpack parent this shit and make everyone play. I had to earn my spot.
I just think it would be more fair for everyone if we get everyone to play and find everyone's potential.
Oh, yeah. Potential, Aunt Nan. Fair? You mean like you were so fair when you let Leanne and Adara's dads go? Both of them?
Molly looks over at Leanne and Adara, and they pass the puck. She skates off.
Entropy is inevitable. Ask Toys R Us.
Coach Todd steps next to her with a question on his face.
That's when a thing reaches its max potential and the only thing left is decay.
You archetypes are dark.
Art? Yeah.
You know what? Take the rink for your little plan. Be here at 5
a.m.
Yeah.
Any wiggle room?
Coach Todd shakes his head no with a smile.
No. Okay. What made you change your mind?
Hearing my wife say how you laid off half the workforce
He looks out at Leanne and Adara.
got me to thinking everybody should get to play. Maybe changing things will stop our path to decay.
He looks at her coat with which sports a coffee spill. She wipes the spill. They look out over the ice. Interior, overseer's glass box, window covering, factory, day. Nan watches over the empty factory floor. Her expression hardens as she takes in the abandoned machines, silent conveyor belts, and empty assembly lines. In the distance, she spots a familiar piece of equipment, a large industrial press that Leanne's dad used to operate. It stands motionless, a symbol of his absence. Nan's eyes linger on the press for a moment. She steels herself and turns away.
Love it.
Yeah.
Good job, procrastinator.
Procrastinator. Yes. Go ahead, SD.
I mean, again, you've written like really like a tiny few scenes, but they're packed. Especially with character. I like how you always we're on the rink, but we always go back to the factories and to what Nan is doing, taking away jobs, and how everyone really is making her feel bad about it. And we can see, in a way, the trajectory of her story and how she's going to change, how, being a coach on, at a sports team, something that she has no idea about, is making her, rethink her decisions. And that efficiency doesn't always mean, is not always a positive thing, because there's behind the numbers, there are real people with lives, and she's taking that away from them. And it's funny how, it's ironic how she is really giving advice about getting more kids to play, and at the same time, I like how the coach essentially says, we're gonna work with your plan because I don't want to see what you've done to those kids, to those kids' parents happen to them and make them feel left out. So I like that Nan is getting, hammered and badgered by people around her, because that's what she needs at this point.
Especially because, she obviously went to college, and probably a lot of people she laid off didn't. Like, it's just like perhaps kind of blue collar town. And she's quoting, like, she's talking about entropy. Like, it's such a college thing to talk. We learn about entropy in college and maybe high school, but in college is when we start thinking of it from a philosophical perspective. So it was such a funny thing to say in the midst of all the things that you were just talking about.
And the coach says, "You art people are dark." She's a science, she's a math person. What art?
Well, right, because he still considers anyone that got an advanced degree somebody who's a poet or an artist. Like, just, no matter how many times Nan says she's a math person, she's statistics, even the statistics he turns into art by quoting Moneyball, which is a movie, right? Yeah. So it's like everything I know about statistics, I learned through a movie. He's a great character, by the way. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I have to keep looking at her name, Self-Doubter. I wanted to talk a little bit about that moment with you. So the coach goes away because he got to talk to his wife. And, he's like, we're doing it my way or the highway, right? Mm-hmm. Screw you and your highly educated statistician Moneyball self. And screw your ideas of fairness. I'm going to put my players out there who are going to win. Typical coach mm-hmm. talk. So, SD, I'm really interested in knowing, like, exactly what he said, what his wife told him when he was on the phone that made him change his mind. Was it like, you know what, you should listen to Nan and have some pity on these kids because their parents were laid off? Like, is that the vibe that you got from the phone call?
Interesting, because what I got is her essentially saying, oh, and other people got laid off too, including the kids' parents.
Yeah.
And that's how I understood it. So he felt bad. I don't
Yeah.
think that I don't think his wife would tell him,
How to coach.
yeah, how to coach
Got
or to listen to Nan, the person who
Right.
fired. She would say, she couldn't go screw herself.
Yeah, good.
So yeah, so
Good.
that's what I interpreted the conversation to be.
And when Coach Todd says, hearing my wife say how you laid off half the workforce, do you think at that moment he's kind of like digging at
Oh,
Nan
yes.
a little bit? Yeah, I think so too. I
Yeah.
think so too.
I think
He's
everyone
kind of,
hates her.
yeah. And the girls, Leanne and Adara, kind of represent that, like the people who will suffer because of what Nan did to their parents. And so that's what brings him around to letting everyone play. Okay, I totally get that. Yeah, I completely agree. The other thing that I think you do so well, Procrastinator, is we're always going back to this overseer's glass box. And the things that you do with objects is so impressive. And looking at this industrial press that represents June, it stands motionless, a symbol of his absence. I am so fascinated then to see that if that does represent June, like what will happen, not only to the overseer's blocks, which I think we've talked about a little bit, but to this equipment, and how that will tie into these characters who I think we're going to get to really know and love. Yeah. I love I love how even in just these 4 or 5 pages, as self-doubter said, the self-doubter said, I love that just in these few pages, there's so much conflict. And basically Nan has every single line is an obstacle to Nan, right? Every single line is a no. All the people are no. As she's talking, these two skate by as if they say no, it's like at the end of Dollhouse where the door slams and it's like as if it's saying no, right? That's how I feel like every single action, every single character is just a big no, including Coach Todd, who just keeps telling her no. And even when he says yes, he's saying no, right? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and let all these people play, but not because of you, but because I feel sorry for them because you laid all their parents off. So no, still don't like you. Yeah, so that's really nice. Yeah.
Excellent. That's so helpful.
That's so we getting helpful. It, Procrastinator?
Yes, that's incredibly helpful. And what I love about meeting with you folks is that you see things that I don't see. It's helping me ask questions like, how does the glass box change at the end of this episode? Like, because she's always up there. So now I'm wondering what happens if June is up there at the end of the episode, just because of the stark difference of a worker being up there. A worker hasn't been up there. So I'm interested in seeing what that means. And of course, we've talked about June and him being the B storyline for like the sort of love thing. So I think there could be something really interesting that could.
And maybe he is looking down at her. Maybe she is down there.
If there's a complete reversal.
Yeah,
exactly.
In station. That's really helpful. Thank you so much.
I did want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
It's funny to me that Coach Todd is actually the one who chooses these characters based on emotion because he feels sorry for them. I don't think that Nan feels sorry for them because I think Nan is using math. So I don't know that she actually feels the kind of empathy. Maybe she does, and maybe she's using math as an excuse. But
Mhm.
you know, when she says,
Yeah.
I found that the
Mhm.
teams that play their best players only 40% of the time win 96% of the time. By making everyone play a little better, the team wins through shared work. So it's almost like she's applying these math or statistical rules that perhaps she used when she was working, you know,
Mhm.
when she was overseeing this factory or
Mhm.
whatever. And so I haven't really purchased that Nan is, and you know, is really concerned about fairly out, you know, the feelings of the players. Whereas I feel like Coach Todd, he's coming
Mm.
from a place of, well, you fired all their parents. So like, I'm gonna, you know, it's the least I
Mhm.
can do for these poor kids. So that's an interesting dynamic. I don't know
Yeah.
if I got that right, but it
So
just might
it's
be
yeah.
funny to fun to play with. What do you think, Esty?
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't really care about fulfilling their full potential or having, the kids. She wants to win using numbers. She really doesn't care if they all play. She doesn't care about fair that much. I think that's what she learns in the end. So that's actually a really good point that you raised, Binger. Binge eater.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, where, like, because yeah, that gives me a lot to think about. That is really helpful.
I also like that he's kind of torturing her by making her wake up so early. I mean,
Yes.
obviously they have, you know, early practice, but it's almost feels a little sadistic, like 5 a.m. Yeah, she's like a.m. and he's like, yes. You know, what do you
No
think?
wiggle room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really nice. Um, it's like he wants her to fail almost, but
Mm,
you
mhm.
know,
I like that. Yeah.
she's a little late and he gets on her, and you know, I think this is so great.
And
Um,
I wonder how she keeps defending her decision because she keeps saying, look what happened to Pan Am, look, all of these things. But I think deep down there's like a deeper maybe meaning to what she's doing. Maybe she really has, as a person, she has a hard time relating to people. And maybe there is a reason behind that. She was always lonely. She was always left out. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but it cannot be like her justification cannot only be, this is where the future is going. There has to be a deeper meaning. And I think June would get that out of her
I love
if the
that.
beeline continues. Yeah.
I love that, SD, because she's almost like this efficiency expert with the way that she's using these numbers instead of people. And, you know, what is the need that's driving that? Like, and the physical separation that she has from everybody. Like, I don't know. Like, I know people who are managers or, you know, even above that. And there's certain kinds of managers that really like to be with their employees and like to get in the dirt with, you know what I mean? Like they like to do the
Mhm.
work. And if they're managing a bar, they go and clean the toilets if they need to. Like they're really in it with their
Right.
workers, right? And then there's other kinds of managers who are like, okay, this is my job and this is your job. And like we're never gonna meet. So metaphorically or symbolically speaking, is Nan the kind of person who never leaves that overseer's glass box? Or does she ever actually get on the floor with the people that work in the factory? Like, you
Mhm.
know, is that someplace that she came from? Did she used to work in the factory, right? And now she works in the overseer's box. So um, that is something that I'm really curious to learn about her.
And it
What?
doesn't have
Yeah.
to be like she, it's metaphorical that she
Yeah.
used to work. Um, in a factory or the in that level, so probably it could be metaphorical too.
Mhm.
Doesn't have to be
I'm curious with like this introspection on Nan and especially her like statistical side um compared to her response to the coach about um this is my brother's idea.
Mhm.
What meaning did that generate with you when the coach turns down her proposal and she says, "Oh, not letting everybody play is my brother's idea." Were you able to do anything with that, or did you like eject that?
When I saw that, I was a bit confused, but now that you bring it up, I think it's because he probably left her, like he wouldn't let her play. So she was probably left out because she wasn't good enough. It could be it. So he was ruthless also in a way.
That's really helpful. Thanks, SD.
Yeah. Do you have other questions or comments?
No, I think that's really helpful. I've got lots of stuff to work on with June, figuring this out, and looking at that phone call, what that means is really helpful. Yeah, I've got some great stuff to move forward.
It's so
Awesome.
good, Procrastinator.
It's getting better. I'm excited about the entire season, not just the pilot.
Total Ted Lasso vibes. I love this so much.
Exactly. Like
So
I'm not into hockey, but this is interesting.
And it's so fun to read. I love
Mhm.
all these characters, especially the mean ones. Molly is like my hero. She's so
Yeah, Molly's my favorite character.
horrible.
Oh, and the
So
coach.
wonderful. And
Coach
the
is
coach
fun.
is so great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
And the
so
mom.
wonderful.
It
who loves
seriously
faces. She's-
is my goal to have a full draft by next Friday. And maybe we could read the whole thing with
I would love it.
the revisions.
Let's do it.
I would
Yeah.
love that. I
Let's
would love
do it.
that. And I'll definitely have a scene for Friday.
Mhm.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Mm,
So
Do you
I'm
have
really
do you have
excited.
an idea of what you're bringing? Like what scene, like what section or anything?
The next one, the next scene. Yeah.
Oh,
so
awesome.
yeah, we read I think the first three or four scenes, so this will be the next one.
Yeah, I'm so
Awesome.
excited. I can't even take it. I'm so excited.
I'll probably get chapter 46, that chapter that is killing me because I want it to be as interesting as possible. But I want to get it done. And I want it to be as tense and interesting as possible. So I'm excited about it. Yeah.
I can't wait.
No, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We'll stop recording now.
Let me end this. So thanks for watching. See you Friday.
Bye. See you next week.
You guys are so nice. I'm like, get out!